All right, hello everybody, and welcome. Apologize for being just a minute late there. I got caught up in a update on my computer in my office here, and aren't the fastest things. Has the old spinning hard drive on it, so hoping for an upgrade over the summer. But higher education budgets being what they are, we will see. Okay, so let me just let my group know that I'm here. Just give me just a moment. So, interesting night with futures. Up significantly overnight. Gave some of that back, and that can be, an okay thing if you're looking at a bullish setup because you, after all, you do want an entry, and if the stock just kind of leaves without you, you can sometimes feel like you're kind of unsure where to go. So it's really difficult to assess, when stocks are running pre-market. I think sometimes when to enter. This is where the triggers can help, and I'm going to review some of that in just a moment here. Okay, so there's that. Discord. I am I'm not one of those streamers who can do like 100 things at once. So sorry. Okay, here we go. All right, so welcome, and let's take a look at first of all. Looks like a couple of my triggers did hit pre-market X and Zim, and I'll go into my daily watch list and take a look at those. So what is Zim doing? Okay, so let me get rid of that. Why this is doing this. Okay. And share screen. Okay, there we go. All right, so we can see Zim punched through my trigger pre-market at 65.95 and then has pulled back and is looking at 65.51. This is really a nice potential setup here. And look at how this candle just went right to the trigger, and then the wick broke through it. This is just one of the things that kind of amazes me about this formula for call and put triggers is how often it does seem to hit at these levels. So this is acting, somewhat as resistance right now, and just looking for confirmation that it can break through it. I don't. There's nothing in particular in option strikes that would lead me to think that 65 or 66 is going to be any kind of particular problem. So if the stock is going to follow through on some of the option flow I saw, then Zim should probably bust through this. So what exactly is it that I saw on Zim? Let's take a look at that. And go to Zim. So Zim is a shipping stock, and that's been a sector that has done fairly well over the past couple months. Is Has pulled back fairly significantly over the last several weeks. So you can see here it kind of peaked in March, and then pulled way back in April, and has started to reverse into May, and did have strong earnings. The earnings got pulled back a bit just with market conditions, and so I liked the flow setup on this. And a couple things that I saw just in the 617 strikes, some of the 65 calls. I liked that. And when I go into the live flow, and let me adjust my dates here. Yeah, so we'll go into. You can see I was looking at Baba this weekend. All right, so Zim. Not coming up. Let me see here. Must be something in my filters messed up. Okay, we're just going to reset this. Get to Zim. Okay, so we'll go on the ask side, go up a bit. Now, Zim does have a dividend approaching, but it's not, it's not coming up immediately. So it's going to be in June. So that's not much of a concern. All right, so let's filter out. Just say 3. Get rid of those 520s. Okay, so what I saw during the last few hours of buying was a lot of bullish activity on Zim, and a lot of these orders over 10,000. Some of them pushing out of the money, some kind of close to the money, and orders into July up at 75. And when I see these out of the money orders coming in, and start to assess, is this something that I'm potentially interested in entering? And we'll see if Zim had any live flow alerts. What what I like to see, and we didn't have anything on the 20th. Some bearish activity here, so nothing really there. But as I'm assessing these strikes and looking at 65 and 75, etc., I start to then look at the chart and see in what way are these strikes feasible. Well, we can see it's already sitting at 65, so so there's some momentum there. There's some in the money activity, and then we see some at 70 and again 75 into July. So so my impression of Zim is that you see kind of this level here, this 72.79 was a point where it had attempted to make a reversal before it went lower, and 70 before its last run was a point of some consolidation before before it went higher. So so these are some points in the chart of interest that that it can revisit and certainly test and potentially break through. So so my take on Zim, I have it listed today as a potentially like a day trade, but this is also a stock I think you could swing. And if I were to swing it, I would go with those contracts into July that are sitting at 75 is kind of would be my target on it. If you wanted to go 617.75, it's only going to run you a little over $100, and kind of double that for, or approximately double that for July. The July contract kind of buys you a little more time, and gives you a little more margin for error. But overall, I like the uptrend potential here. So so that's one of the things that that interested me about Zim. Now the other stock that broke through my call trigger was X, and X is a steel stock, and you can see very briefly it touched that, and so it's up 1.77%. So I'm going to see it open if it wants to give some of that back, or just wants to break through the trigger. And if it does just fly right through the trigger, I'm going to look for it to pull back, look for a retest on that 24.35 level. And it just a lot of this just depends on how the market wants to open today, and we'll see on that. Twilio is hasn't touched the triggers yet. It's just sort of floating in the zone here, and so we're going to see what that wants to do. And looking at QQQ again, spiked pretty large in pre-market, and then has given some of that back. This the pre-market low, and potentially then the after hours low, if you're going to try to scalp QQQ, and same for SPY. Those are some some key levels to keep an eye on if it spikes and wants to revisit those, or if it dips it open, you're going to want to see it break through those pre-market lows to get some kind of confirmation of a potential uptrend. That's a pretty common strategy for scalping the indices, so you might think about that. Okay, let me call up my notes from last night, and we'll see where we sit in reference to the flow here. All right. And I'm back. Sorry about that. Computer completely I just decided to restart on me. So I will give me just a moment here. I'll call back up my screens. Not the smoothest day for streaming. Sorry, my office, summertime, they do a lot of updates and things. Okay, so let me call this up, and I'm completely in the dark here. So this is an adventure. Okay, but the internet's still up. All right, so I'm gonna remove